Observers are pointing to a radical shift in Woah Vicky's digital presence following her 2024 trip to Nigeria. While she initially dismissed reports of $1 million ransom demand as a joke born out of boredom, the internet is refusing to let the story go. Viral clips show her displaying erratic body language, ranging from visible shaking during hair appointments to nervous tics, like constant head scratching and rapid shifting in her seat. Speculation has reached a fever pitch after several live streams where she appeared to respond to viewer prompts for help. When asked to yawn if she was in danger, she did so moments later. When told to wear red as a signal, she appeared in a bright red outfit shortly after. Even more unsettling are the marks appearing on her skin, bruises on her arms, neck, and stomach, along with indentations on her wrists that some claim resemble restraints. While she attributed these to tattoo removal, the timing has left many unconvinced. The presence of unidentified men in the background of her videos has led to the term handless trending across social media. These individuals are seen monitoring her movements and occasionally intercepting her speech, leading to theories that she's being silenced or controlled through financial or psychological leverage. Audio clips from her lives often feature loud, distracting music or sudden glitches that occur exactly when she begins to discuss her well-being or show specific injuries to the camera. Vicky has made sarcastic comments regarding being in trouble and needing baby lions to escape, which internet sleuths have decoded as a potential cry for financial resources. Despite her verbal claims that everything is fine and that Nigeria is safe, the physical evidence and the reactions of those around her suggest a narrative that contradicts her words. The discourse is no longer about the prank itself, but about whether the public is witnessing a slow-motion crisis hidden behind a screen. Asterisk. The tension surrounding these public appearances is compounded by the fact that Vicky's close associates and family members have displayed genuine terror, a sharp contrast to her nonchalant dismissals. During one specific livestream, a hairdresser's immediate and forceful physical intervention when Vicky tried to reach for an object off camera sparked a wave of analysis regarding the level of autonomy she actually possesses. This perceived surveillance isn't just physical. Her digital accounts continue to post high-energy, promotional content that many argue doesn't align with the anxious and depleted version of her seen on camera. Further investigation into the baby lion metaphors has led some to believe that her captors or handlers are using her platform as a high-stakes crowdfunding tool where digital gifts and lions on TikTok are the currency for her perceived freedom. This psychological tug-of-war is intensified by the fact that she remains mobile and continues to travel, a factor that skeptics use to debunk the kidnapping theory, while others argue it is the ultimate form of modern-day exploitation. A prisoner who is forced to act as their own PR agent. The visual inconsistencies continue to mount, with fans frame-stepping through her videos to point out what appear to be hidden messages or SOS signals etched into the background environments. Whether these are coincidences or deliberate attempts to bypass those monitoring her, the sheer volume of glitches in her story has created a digital atmosphere of deep unease. Every smile for the camera is now being dissected for signs of duress, and every joke about her safety is being reevaluated as a potential confession hidden in plain sight. Asterisk. The lack of direct intervention from authorities has only intensified the digital investigation. As users began archiving every frame of her recent broadcasts to preserve evidence of what they call a disappearing person in real time, analysts have noted that the audio environments in her videos often seem artificial, with heavy background noise potentially serving to mask instructions being whispered from behind the lens. In several instances, Vicky starts a sentence with a look of genuine urgency, only to be interrupted by a loud noise or a sudden change in camera angle, after which she resets her expression into a vacant, scripted smile. The scars and marks on her body have become a focal point of the debate, especially as they appear to shift and change in severity between posts. When she attempted to show a busted lip during a broadcast, the feed was cut almost instantaneously, a technical failure that has happened too frequently to be viewed as a mere coincidence by her audience. This pattern of convenient technical difficulty suggests a level of external monitoring that goes beyond standard management. The paradox of her situation lies in her visibility. She is seen by millions daily, yet her true status remains entirely opaque. This has created a phenomenon of digital bystander trauma, where viewers feel they are witnessing a crime through a one-way mirror, unable to act because the victim herself continues to provide the cover story. The constant mention of vibrations and safety in her captions reads to many as a forced mantra, a repetitive loop designed to satisfy both an algorithm and a captor, while her physical demeanor continues to deteriorate in the public eye. The psychological disconnect is most apparent when comparing her verbal affirmations to her autonomic responses. While she insists she's enjoying her vibe and freedom, her respiratory rate and pupil dilation in high definition close-ups suggest a state of constant fight or flight. This has led experts in body language to suggest that she may be experiencing a form of trauma bonding or Stockholm syndrome, where the victim adopts the narrative of their controllers as a survival mechanism. This would explain why she frequently defends the very people the internet has identified as her potential captors. Furthermore, the financial trail of her baby line requests has opened a new avenue of suspicion. Observers notice that these calls for expensive digital gifts often coincide with moments where she appears most distressed, as if she is meeting a quota for her handlers in real time. The transition from a viral entertainer to what looks like a digital panhandler under duress has shifted the public's perception of her trolling. It is no longer being viewed as a quest for clout, but as a desperate attempt to satisfy a financial demand that the public cannot fully see. This atmosphere of control extends to our physical surroundings, which often appear to be temporary or hotel-like, lacking any personal touches despite her claims of being home. The recurring presence of heavy-set men who stand just out of focus, or whose shadows are cast across her face during her most vulnerable moments, creates a visual claustrophobia. These shadows serve as a constant reminder of the unseen audience that exists within the room, an audience that seemingly has the power to end the stream, change the subject, or dictate her next move with a single look. The narrative has shifted toward the psychological architecture of her isolation, as digital sleuths point out that she seems to be living in a filter-mediated reality. Every attempt at a candid moment is quickly smoothed over by a jarring transition or a sudden shift in her tone of voice, which often drops several octaves when she isn't looking directly at the camera. This vocal fry and flattening of affect are classic indicators of extreme mental exhaustion. Yet, she is pushed to maintain a high-frequency posting schedule that would challenge even the most healthy creator. Data miners have also noticed a discrepancy in the metadata of her uploads, suggesting that her content is being managed from multiple geographic locations simultaneously. This supports the theory that she no longer has sole access to her own digital identity. When she speaks of healing or starting over, it is often done in a sterile environment that lacks the chaotic energy of her previous years, replaced instead by a forced, eerie calm that feels more like a clinical observation room than a bedroom. Social pressure is mounting as other influencers begin to speak out, noting that their private messages to her go unanswered or receive generic, robotic responses that don't sound like her established voice. This wall of silence between her and her long-term peers suggests a total vetting process of her social interactions. The internet is now observing a digital ghost, a person whose image continues to populate the feed and interact with the algorithm, while the human being behind the pixels appears to be retreating further into a state of silent, monitored captivity. The recurring theme of instructional glitches has become a hallmark of her recent broadcasts, where a slight delay and her responses suggest she is waiting for a verbal or visual cue from someone standing behind the tripod. On several occasions, her eyes dart toward a specific corner of the room just before she changes her stance or adopts a more aggressive, classic Vicky persona, leading to the theory that her current behavior is a highly managed performance, designed to convince the public of her agency. This external orchestration is further evidenced by the way her conversations are steered away from personal history or future plans, focusing instead on repetitive, surface-level slogans that offer no real insight into her current living conditions. Observers have also highlighted the devaluation of her personal space as a key indicator of her status. In her earlier career, her surroundings were filled with personal belongings, friends, and family. Now, she is frequently seen in anonymous, high-end rentals that appear to be staged for maximum visual impact but minimum comfort. The contrast between her expensive jewelry and the visible exhaustion in her face creates a jarring aesthetic of golden handcuffs. This image is reinforced by the way her handlers appear to manage her physical contact with others, ensuring that she is always within arm's reach of an escort or a security detail, even in environments that would typically be considered safe or private. The digital community is now analyzing the response latency in her interactions with followers. When she is asked a direct, unplanned question, there is often a long, awkward pause where she looks off camera as if seeking permission or a scripted answer. If the question is too sensitive, the music volume often spikes or the camera angle is abruptly adjusted to cut her out of the frame. This systematic suppression of spontaneity has turned her once erratic and unpredictable brand into something that feels heavily edited and sanitized, a clear departure from the Woah Vicky that the internet first encountered. The result is a persistent, haunting dissonance between the girl on the screen and the reality of the room she is standing in. What we're witnessing with Woah Vicky is a paradox of the digital age. Someone seen by millions every day, yet whose true whereabouts remain a dark mystery. Between claims of trolling and disturbing physical signs, the line between content and reality is blurring. Is this an extreme attention-seeking strategy or a cry for help muffled by algorithms? One thing is for sure, digital footprints don't lie, and the body often reacts when the mouth is forced to shut up. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are you seeing the same signs, or are we just caught up in a conspiracy theory? Thank you for watching this investigation all the way to the end. Stay critical, stay vigilant. Don't forget to subscribe to Spill the Tea Hollywood to keep us motivated, and we'll see you in the next analysis.